Hello everyone, my name is Miss Elle and I'd like to welcome you to First Chapter Friday. In April, we are celebrating Autism Acceptance Month. A few years ago, folks in the autistic community wanted to change the title of Autism Awareness Month to Autism Acceptance Month because people are already aware that we exist, but we want to be loved, celebrated, and accepted for exactly who we are. To help you learn a little bit more about the autistic experience and what it's like trying to fit in, I am sharing with you parts of Can You See Me by Libby Scott and Rebecca Westcott. Now, typically we read the first chapter from start to finish because this is First Chapter Friday after all. But I found while I was prepping for this that the middle of the first chapter and the second chapter are the best parts of the book to share with you, so I hope you enjoy them. Date, Friday, August 29th. Situation, end of summer vacation. How I feel, relaxed but a bit nervous. The summer can't last forever, can it? Anxiety rating, a nice chilled out 3 with a hint of 4 creeping in if I think about starting 6th grade next week. Dear Diary, Tally here. Well, I'm actually Natalia, but my friends call me Tally, and so does my family. Let me tell you about them. I live with my mom, Jennifer, my dad, Kevin, and my annoying big sister, Nell. She thinks she's always right, and even when she is, I pretend that she isn't. One thing that you should probably know about me early on is that I'm autistic. I have autism. Although autism can sometimes hold me up a little in life, my parents say it's a superpower, and I like to believe that. The rest of the world hasn't caught up with this yet, though. And some people seem to think that being autistic is like being a completely different species. Some people treat me like an alien, when all I want is to be treated like any other 11-year-old. I'll admit that what also sometimes makes people treat me differently is the fact that I wear a tiger mask a lot of the time. I just feel secure and safe in it. When I'm wearing my mask, I don't have to make eye contact. Why are people so obsessed with that anyway? I don't have to pretend to smile at people either. I can't catch germs in it, and people tend to leave me alone when I'm wearing it. What's not to love? Though, Nell doesn't love it. She finds it excruciatingly embarrassing when I wear it in public. She even tried to hide it once. The mask is Nell's archenemy, and I like that. Mom gave me this diary so that I can write down how I'm feeling. She says that it might help me to understand my own experience of autism better and how I cope, or don't cope, in certain situations, particularly when I get anxious or scared, which happens a lot, by the way. To be honest, the first time she suggested this to me months back, I point blank refused. But today, I've decided to give it a try, though I can't see what good it will really do since I already know all this stuff about myself. I guess I could let my family read this diary one day so they can understand my experience of autism better too. Yeah, that could work. My mom spends her life researching autism online. Whenever I use the family computer after her, there's always some article left open about supporting your autistic child by some autism expert. But she never asks advice from the autism expert she lives with, me. I'm not saying I'm an expert on what it's like for all autistic people, only for me, but that's the point, really. Although autism might be classified as one thing, and some autistic people can have similar traits, no 2 people will be autistic in exactly the same way. That's why it took years of my mom arguing with people before I was diagnosed. I can do things that people think you can't do when you're autistic. I can socialize when I have to. I can put on my best character when I need to. And I can make eye contact when I force myself to. I have a spectacular sense of humor, if I do say so myself. And don't even get me started on the idea that autistic people can't feel empathy. I'm so full of it at times that it just drowns me. Okay, so maybe there are some things I'd like people to know about my autism. Let's call them my autistic pros and cons, and I'm going to write them down as I think of them. Tally's autism facts. Sensory stuff. Pro, I have a better memory, sense of smell, eyesight, sense of touch, hearing, and sometimes taste than others might. I told you, autism is a superpower. I can hear a piece of music and play it instantly on my keyboard or my ukulele. I can mimic voices, which I sometimes get in trouble for. And I can remember where and when we bought every one of my stuffed animals, and I have over 100 of them. I usually remember to celebrate all of their birthdays too, except that one time I forgot Billy's, and I was devastated. Con, I can feel even the tiniest of things, and it annoys the heck out of me. The seams in socks, a crumb in my shoe, labeling clothes. If we go on vacation and the mattress isn't exactly like my one at home, I can't sleep because of all the lumps. Mom says that I'm just like the Princess in the Princess and the Pea story. Having excellent hearing isn't always so great either. It makes it impossible to block out other people's conversations when I'm all the way upstairs in my room. And when that conversation is mom and dad having an argument about me, then it's even worse. Yet also intriguing, I have to admit. But when I let on that I've heard, I get accused of eavesdropping, which is disgraceful, really, considering that I can't help it. Chapter 2. It hurts. The words squeeze themselves out through Tally's gritted teeth. I want to take it off now. If you help me, we can get this done really quickly. Mom looks up from her position on the floor. Then we can treat ourselves to a piece of chocolate as a reward. What do you think? Tally's arms stay resolutely folded across her chest. She's not stupid, and she knows as well as Mom does that there's nothing quick about this process. The rest of her new school uniform is draped across the end of her bed. They still have to try on her skirt and sweater, as well as the shoes that Mom ended up buying without her because, as Tally overheard her saying to Dad, she didn't have the energy to deal with the shoe store meltdown as well as everything else. Not that it would have made any difference if Tally had been with her to try on the shoes. They'd still hurt, no matter what. The only shoes that don't make her feet feel trapped and painful are her comfortable old sneakers. And according to Nell, Kingswood Academy doesn't include filthy, disgusting sneakers in their uniform policy. It was totally Nell's own fault that one of those so-called disgusting sneakers ended up bouncing off her head. And Tally still thinks that having her iPad taken away for the evening was an unfair and disproportionate punishment. I wonder if you can move your arms a little bit? I can't. They're stuck. Mom laughs gently. Well, fortunately for you, I happen to have some magic unsticking potion right here. She dabs a finger at Tally's arm. There, you should be free to move now. Nope. Tally shakes her head. There's no such thing as an anti-sticking potion, and my arms are still stuck. There's nothing I can do about it. You're doing so well, soothes Mom. But Tally can hear the strain in her voice. A couple more minutes and we'll be done. I just need to do up the buttons and check that it fits. Tally can feel a stiff fabric against her skin and resist the urge to roar at Mom. It's scratchy, and it's making her feel too hot. She cannot imagine, for even 1 second, how anyone can expect her to wear something so inflexible and rigid, nor why she would ever need to. She's starting 6th grade, not going into battle. Unless there's something that they aren't telling her, which wouldn't be surprising, because Tally suspects that there are quite a lot of things that her mom and dad talk about when she isn't around to hear them. Like what they're going to do about her. She feels like the perpetual problem of Tally. Outside the bedroom window, the sky is growing dark. Unlike the first day of summer, the last day of vacation is not crammed with potential. It does not taste of ice cream or smell of cut grass and sunshine. If the first day of summer is all about hope, then the last day is filled with gloom. And it knows it. The rain lashes down against the glass, and if she peers hard enough through her eye holes of the mask that she's wearing, she can see her own reflection gazing back at her. The raindrops on the outside of the window mimicking the tears that are silently trickling down her cheeks. She sniffs and lifts up her hands to pull the tiger mask down a bit farther. She doesn't want to cry, but it's not like she's chosen the tears. Moving her arms was a mistake. Mom whips into action, pulling the shirt tight and working the buttons into their holes. The fabric tightens around Tally's neck, and for one horrific moment, she thinks that she's forgotten how to drag air into her lungs. The chair clatters backwards as she yanks away from Mom's hands. Tally! Mom stands up, her face scrunched and red. Your shirt! She unfurls her fingers, and there, in her palm, is a pile of buttons. The rest of the shirt lies in a crumpled heap on the floor, next to its equally crumpled owner. Told you that it hurt me. Tally's head is pushed between her knees, and her voice is muffled. Told you. Mom takes a long breath and sinks down next to Tally, close but not touching. I know you did, and I should have listened, she says quietly. We're done with trying on your uniform for today. It's over. I don't want to wear it tomorrow. It's horrible and it hurts me, and I won't be able to walk or do my work or eat any food or even breathe if I'm wearing it. Tally hunches closer to her knees, feeling the cool rubber of the mask pressing against her face. I know. Sometimes Mom doesn't have a solution. Tally understands that. Sometimes the only thing that Mom can do is no. I can fix the buttons, Mom says now quietly. I don't care about the stupid buttons. It'll be easier in the morning. It won't, but sometimes when Tally is particularly tired, it's simpler to pretend. I'm sorry for being such a problem, she whispers, the words so quiet that they can barely escape through the mouth of the mask, but Mom hears anyway. Oh, Tally, she says, I'm so sorry that I made you feel that way. You are my glorious, fierce, fabulous girl, and I love you to the ends of the earth. Tally looks up at Mom, her eyes shining in the mask. Wouldn't you change me if you could? Mom smiles and gently shakes her head. I wouldn't dream of changing a single thing about you. You are absolutely perfect the way that you are. Tally pauses, scrutinizing Mom's face, checking to make sure that there's not a flicker of doubt, because sometimes Tally thinks that if she was her mom, she might want to swap her for a different daughter. Do you promise? I promise, Mom smiles. Would you like a hug now? Tally nods. Mom shuffles closer and stretches her arm around Tally's shoulder, and they sit quietly for a while until the sound of the front door slamming disturbs the peace. That'll be Nell, says Mom, pushing herself off the floor and putting the buttons down on the bed. Shall we go down to the kitchen and get a snack? Maybe some chocolate since it's the last day of vacation? Starting tomorrow, there will be no more going to the park with Mom or watching movies with Nell in the middle of the week. Chocolate might just make that feel a tiny bit better. But instead, she shakes her head from side to side and growls softly. Tigers don't eat chocolate. They are carnivores, and they mostly eat meat, and they hunt their prey. But you can't hunt a bar of chocolate, can you? There's a pause, and it's obvious that inside the mask, there's some serious thinking going on. Unless maybe you attached some string to the chocolate and dragged it around the yard, and then I could stalk after it and pounce when the chocolate least expects it. Mom makes a snorting sound that sounds suspiciously like a snigger, but that ends up sounding like a cough. It sounds like tigers aren't big fans of chocolate. How about a chunk of antelope? I'm fairly sure that tigers like those. Tally stands up and pulls off her mask. I think that actually, she says, stepping over the discarded school shirt, actually, some chocolate will be absolutely fine. I hope that you've enjoyed what I've shared with you about Tally and learned some new things about autism. Tally's character is based on Libby Scott, the author's experience as an autistic person, and learning to love and celebrate herself exactly as she is and encouraging the people around her to do the same. If you'd like to read the rest of this book, check out your local library and see if we have it on the shelf. If we don't, we can place a hold on it for you and send it to the branch of your choice. Hope to see you next month. Bye, friends.